Hello students, welcome to Science Learning Gateway. I hope you all are doing good. So today in this tutorial I am going to discuss class 10th science NCERT chapter number 15, our environment question answers. As you all know that all the question answers from the NCERT textbook are very important from your exam point of view. In your midterm exams or your terminal exams or and even in the board exams also. In the board exams, these NCERT questions are very important. Generally, most of the questions are asked from the NCERT textbook. So you should be thorough with all the question answers given in the textbook. So I am going to discuss and explain all the question answers given in the textbook, whether it is the in-text question or the exercise questions. All the question answers are important. So we'll discuss all the question answers today in this tutorial. And the name of the chapter is Our Environment. Okay, so let's start with our discussion. First, we'll discuss the in-text questions. Okay, given first in-text question is what are trophic levels? Give an example of food chain and state the different trophic level in it. In this part, in this question, two questions are asked. First of all, we have to write the definition of trophic level. What are trophic level? Then we have to give an example of food chain, and that food chain we have to explain giving the different trophic levels. So first we'll start with the discussion with trophic level. So what is trophic level? The various steps in the food chain at which the transfer of food or energy takes place are called the trophic levels. You all know that in food chain different organisms are involved. So those steps from one organism to the another organism, that step in the food chain where the transfer of energy or food take place is called trophic level. Understood? The steps in the food chain at which the transfer of food or energy takes place is called trophic level. For example, we have taken a food chain operating in the grassland as given below. This is the example of food chain which is there in the grassland. For example, grass are present in the grassland. Grasses will be eaten by the grasshopper. Next, grasshoppers will be eaten by the frog, and at last, frog will be eaten by the eagle. Now we'll explain this food chain. First of all, grass represent the first trophic level, right? This is the first trophic level. Grasshopper represent the second trophic level. Some of the energy will be transferred from the grass to the grasshopper, from first trophic level to the second trophic level. Third, frog represent the third trophic level and the eagle represent the fourth trophic level. In all the trophic levels, some amount of energy or food is transferred, right? So this is an example of food chain, and the different trophic levels are also mentioned over there. Next question we have, what is the role of decomposers in the ecosystem? This is a very important question from the exam point of view also. Okay, what is the role of decomposers in the ecosystem? So first of all, you should know what are decomposers. Decomposers are those microorganisms which decompose or break down the bodies of plants and animals into small pieces so that they will be mixed up with the soil, right? So first point, what we will write for this one, decomposers help in decomposing the dead bodies of plants and animals and hence act as cleaning agents of the environment. So what they used to do, they decompose, they break down the dead bodies of plants and animals, and they will act as a cleaning agent for the environment. Second point, they decompose biodegradable substances into useful substances. So what are biodegradable substances? The substances which can be broken down into small pieces by the microorganisms are called biodegradable substances. So decompose, break down these substances also into useful substances. They help in recycling of the nutrients. Okay, the nutrients which are present in the environment, they help to recycle those nutrients also. They release nutrients into soil by decomposing dead and decaying matter, thus making the soil fertile. And the decomposers also help to make the soil fertile. How they used to how they help in make the soil fertile? They release nutrients into the soil. Nutrients will be given by the decomposers. When they decompose the dead plants and animal, that time nutrients will be formed. Those nutrients will have mixed up with the soil. So decomposers help in making the soil fertile also. So these are the roles of decomposers in the ecosystem. This question is important, so you have to learn this answer. Next, why are some substances biodegradable and some are non-biodegradable? In this question, it is asked that there are two types of substances, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Why they are so? Okay, so we'll write the answers like this. Substances are classified as biodegradable and non-biodegradable because some substances can be decomposed by microorganisms and some cannot, right? Some of the substances can be decomposed by microorganisms and some cannot. On the basis of that, some substances are classified as biodegradable while others as non-biodegradable. Now, what are biodegradable and what are non-biodegradable substances that you have to write in the answer? Substances that are broken down into simple soluble forms are called biodegradable substances, and the substances that are not decomposed by microorganisms and or into harmless substances are called non-biodegradable substances. Okay, so what are biodegradable substances? Biodegradable substances are those substances which are broken down into simpler forms or into small pieces by microorganisms. For example, the vegetable peel or the fruit peels, then your dead plants and animals are biodegradable substances. Non-biodegradable substances cannot be broken down by small pieces into small pieces by the microorganism. Example, plastic, glass, those are non-biodegradable substances. Next question is, give any two ways in which biodegradable substance would affect the environment. In this, we have to write the answer, the importance of biodegradable substances in this one. Okay, how they are useful to the environment. Okay, first point what you will write, the biodegradable substances such as tree leaves, plant parts and kitchen waste can be used as humus after compositing. They will enhance the soil fertility. Okay, the dead parts of the plants or the kitchen waste can be used as humus. Okay, but they used to enrich the soil fertility. They add nutrients to the soil fertility. Next one, biodegradable substance mainly contains carbon. Okay, these substances after decomposition release that carbon back into the atmosphere. All the biodegradable substances contain carbon. When they will be decomposed, they will give back that carbon into the atmosphere. The first point is they enhance the soil fertility, and the next point is they give back that carbon back into the atmosphere. Give any two ways in which non-biodegradable substance would affect the environment. Okay, now we have to write the bad effects of non-biodegradable substances. They can cause various type of pollution. You can write that answer. They can cause air, water and soil pollution. First point, they may cause biomagnification the food chain and end up in humans. Biomagnification means accumulation of chemicals in the body of organism. Okay, so they may cause biomagnification, they enter the food chain and they can harm the human beings also. So you can write these 2 points. Next, what is ozone and how does it affect an ecosystem? This question is also very important. What is ozone and how does it affect the ecosystem? Okay, ozone, what is the formula of ozone? O3. Okay, O3 is the formula of ozone and O2 is the formula for oxygen. O3 is an isotope of oxygen, that is, it is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen. As you can see, 3 oxygen atoms are there, O3. So it is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen. At higher levels of the atmosphere, ozone performs an essential function. Means ozone is very important for us in the atmosphere. It acts as a protective covering for us, means they will protect us. Ozone layer protect us from the harmful ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. It shields the surface of the earth and UV and ultraviolet radiations from the sun. These radiations are highly damaging to organism. Ultraviolet rays can cause cancer. So what you can write that ozone layers protect us from the harmful ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. These ultraviolet rays can cause many they can harm human beings, like they can cause skin cancer, cataract in human beings, and they can even damage the plants and even the aquatic organisms also. So what the ozone layer does, it protects us from the harmful UV rays from the sun. As these are very harmful to us, they can cause skin cancer or cataract also in human beings. Okay. Next, how can you help in reducing the problem of waste disposal? Give any two methods. Means how we can reduce the waste. First point, by separating biodegradable substances from non-biodegradable substances. This is first point. Okay, we can separate the biodegradable substance and the non-biodegradable substance. Second one, by reducing, reusing and recycling non-biodegradable substances. The non-biodegradable substance, we can reduce their use, we can reuse them or we can recycle them. Then also we can help in the problem of waste disposal. So all the in-text questions we have finished. Now we'll move towards the exercise question answers. In the exercise question, first few questions are choose the correct answer. Okay, 4 alternatives are given. From that we have to write the correct answer. These questions are also very important, as in your exam 8 to 10 marks questions come from the multiple choice questions, right? So you should learn all the questions properly. Which of the following groups contain only biodegradable atoms? 4 options are given over there. Okay, which one is correct, that we have to see. Question is that every group should be all the particular items given in a particular should be biodegradable. So which one is biodegradable? Let's see. Grass, flour, leather, glass, wool, plastic, fruit peels, cake and lime juice, cake, wood, grass. See, the second option is wrong, as plastic is a non-biodegradable substance, right? In this one also, cake, wood and grass, fruit peel, cake and lime juice, and this one is your grass, flour and leather. In this question, three options can be correct. As you can see that grass is a biodegradable substance, okay? Flour is also a biodegradable substance. Leather, it can be also decomposed by the microorganisms. So it is also a biodegradable substance. Fruit peels are also biodegradable. Cake and lime juice are also biodegradable substance. Cake, wood and grass are also biodegradable substance. So three options can be correct in this answer. Okay, so whichever you will write, it will be correct. Which of the following constitute a food chain? Grass can be eaten by wheat. No, mango cannot be eaten by wheat cannot be eaten by mango. So this option is wrong. Grass can be eaten by goat and goat can be eaten by human. Yes, it can be possible. Goat can be eaten by cow, cow can be eaten by elephant. This is wrong option. Grass can be eaten by fish, fish can be eaten by goat. This is also wrong option. So the correct answer is grass can be eaten by goat and goat can be eaten by human being. This forms a food chain. Next question. Which of the following are environment friendly practices? Okay, let's see what are the options given over there. Carrying cloth bags to put purchases while shopping. This is a good practice. Switching off unnecessary lights and fan. Yes, this is also a good practice. Walking to school instead of getting your mother to drop on her scooter. This is also a good practice. All the above. Yes, all the above are good practices, are very good initiatives for environment friendly practices. So the answer is all the above. Next question we have question number 4. What will happen if we kill all the organisms in one trophic level? The question is asked that in one trophic level all the organisms will be killed, then what will happen? Okay, now let's discuss the answer. The food chain would end and ecological balance would be affected. If one tropical level if the organism of one tropic level will be killed, then what will happen? Food chain will be affected and the ecological balance would also be affected because of that. If the herbivores are killed, then what will happen? The carnivores will not get the food and they will die. If carnivores will be killed, then the population of herbivores would increase to unsustainable development. If the producers are killed, then the nutrient cycle in that area would not be completed. So three assumptions are made. If the herbivores will kill, then the carnivores will not get the food because carnivores eat the herbivores. If the carnivores will be killed, then what will happen? The number of herbivores will increase and that would lead to unsustainable level. If the producers are killed, for example the plants are killed, producers means those who make the food, then the nutrient cycle in that area would not be complete. So what will happen if all the organisms in a particular trophic level would be killed, then food chain as well as the ecological balance would be affected. Next question. Will the impact of removing all the organisms in a trophic level be different for different trophic levels? Can the organism of one trophic level be removed without causing any damage to the ecosystem? What is the question? Will the impact of removing all organism in a trophic level be different for different trophic levels? Means if you will remove the organisms of first trophic level and if you remove the organism of second trophic level, will the impact be same? That question we have to answer. Can the organism of one trophic level be removed without causing any damage to the ecosystem? This is the question. We have to write the answer like this. Impact of removing all organism of a trophic level is different for different trophic level. Okay, it is not same. It will be different for different trophic levels. For example, if we remove producers from a food chain, no organisms will get food. Producers are the plants who make the food. If we will remove the producers only, then the other organism like carnivore, herbivores, they will not get food at all. And if we remove the herbivores from a food chain, carnivores will die and the producers will also die due to competition for space and nutrients. Okay, but if we will remove the herbivores, then herbivores are the plant eating animals, then what will happen? The carnivores will not get the food and even the producers will also die due to competition for space and nutrients. Next part. Can the organism of any trophic level be removed without causing any damage to the ecosystem? No, we can't remove any trophic level without causing damage to the ecosystem, as one is dependent on the other for their survival. If we remove one of this, will create imbalance in the ecosystem. So this is not possible because one trophic level is dependent on the other trophic level. If we will remove any one of this, it will create imbalance in the ecosystem and the food chain will be affected. Next question, what we have? What is biological magnification? Will the level of this magnification be different at different levels of the ecosystem? So in this question, what is biological magnification? That is very important. So what is biological magnification? The increase in concentration of harmful chemical substances like pesticides, or you can write DDT, in the body of living organism at each trophic level of the food chain is called biological magnification. So what is biological magnification? If the concentration means if the amount of harmful chemical substances like pesticides, DDT, insecticides will increase in the body of living organism at each trophic level of food chain, it is called biological magnification. Okay, biological magnification, if you remember, that increase in concentration of harmful chemicals, right? Will the levels of this magnification be different at different level of ecosystem? Yes. Level of magnification would increase as the trophic level increase and would be the highest for topmost trophic level. For example, human beings are the topmost trophic level. So in their body, the accumulation of chemicals will be more. It would affect their biological processes such as growth and reproduction. All the biological processes like growth, reproduction, respiration, everything will be affected if biological magnification. Accumulation of chemicals will be there in the body of living organism. Question number 7. What are the problems caused by non-biodegradable waste that we generate? Okay, why means in this one you have to write the how non-biodegradable waste are harmful for us, that we have to write. Okay, the first problem is they cause biomagnification, means the level of harmful chemicals will increase in the body of living organism. They increase pollution also, like air pollution, water pollution. They make environment unclean. Okay, they accumulate in the environment and they will make the environment unclean. They kill useful microorganisms, which are very important for the decomposition of biodegradable substances. So they used to kill the useful microorganisms also. Next question, question number 8. Only two questions are left. So question number 8, what we have? If all the waste we generate is biodegradable, will this have no impact on the environment? Let's see what is the answer. If all the waste we generate is biodegradable, it will also have impact on the environment. If it is disposed of properly, the problem air, water and soil pollution can be decreased to an extent. There would be less health problems and human would be disease free. But if it is not disposed properly, it will affect the environment adversely. For example, all the waste materials which we are generating is biodegradable. Then it will also have impact on the environment. How it will have impact on the environment? If we will dispose all the biodegradable waste, then air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution will not occur, and the health problems will also be less in human beings. But if these waste are not disposed of properly, it will affect the environment adversely. It will create different types of pollutions as well as disease in human beings. Next question, question number 9. It is also important question related to ozone layer. Why is damage to the ozone layer a cause for concern? What steps are being taken to limit this damage? Means why nowadays the ozone layer is getting depleted. So why it is a concern for us, and what are the steps taken to put a limit on this damage? So damage to ozone layer is a cause for concern because if ozone layer in the atmosphere disappears completely, then the extremely harmful ultraviolet rays coming from the sun would reach the earth. These ultraviolet radiation would cause skin cancer and other elements in humans and animals and also damage the plant. So why it is a cause of concern, ozone layer? Because if the ozone layer will be depleted, then what will happen? The harmful UV rays coming from the sun will reach the earth and they will affect the human beings. They can cause skin cancer, cataract and other diseases, and even the plants also, they can cause many damages in the plants and animals also. So it is a very great concern for us that the ozone layer is depleting nowadays. So what steps are being taken to limit this damage? In attempt to protect the ozone layer, the United Nations Environment Program UNEP unanimously forced an agreement among its member countries to freeze CFC production at 1986 level. Means this UNEP has proposed one agreement to their neighboring countries to freeze, means not to use the CFC, means stop the production of CFC. This chlorofluorocarbon, the full form of CFC is chlorofluorocarbon. These are responsible for depleting the ozone layer in our atmosphere. The CFCs are used in the refrigerators and the fire extinguishers, and they are depleting the ozone layer. Because of that, the ozone layer is getting depleted. CFC used as refrigerants and fire extinguishers should be replaced with environmentally safe alternatives. Now, if they are used in the refrigerators and the fire extinguisher, they should be replaced with other alternatives because they are very harmful and they are depleting the ozone layer in our atmosphere. So I finished the question answers. Go through the video once and read the answer once. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubt. Thank you for watching my channel Science Learning Gateway. If this tutorial is helpful for you, then please like it and share it with your friends also. And if you are new to my channel, subscribe to it and don't forget to click on the bell icon so that whenever I will be uploading a new video, you will get the notification for that. Apart from that, if you have any doubt, or if you have any other chapters, notes or question answers or explanation, any video you want, you can comment in the comment section. I will upload that for you. And all the chapters for class 10th science, I have already uploaded the explanation in that video. Notes are also given over there. You can check that in the playlist of class 8 science. Thank you for watching my channel.